Hello and welcome to another edition of Video Games to the Max. I am your host, Sean Garman. Here with me, as always, Mr. Mark Morrison.
Howdy.
And well, there is a lot to talk about. It's fresh, hot off the press. Not earlier today. We got the price for the PlayStation VR 2, and we'll talk about if it's too high, or just the right price, or whatever the launch lineup of games. We'll get into some stuff with PS Plus and Xbox Game Pass as far as the downtrend there, and we'll get into some other things that have been going on in the news as well. Henry Cavill has now left the Witcher series and a lot more. Right after this.
You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get this out of the way with the housekeeping here. If this is your first time listening or 100th time, we always appreciate you. And of course, you can go watch us live right now on the YouTube, WT Network on YouTube, WT Network on Twitch. You can go WT Network on Twitter. I'm at WTM Sean. You can go follow Marc at Humanity Plague on Twitter as well. And you can go watch us live on the Facebook page as well, WT Network there. So either way, we're there live. We're there on demand as well on YouTube or anywhere else that you have those videos, and also on the podcasts. Sometimes not always out right after, like the video version is, but try to get it as close as possible. You can listen to that anywhere that there are podcasts on your favorite podcatcher of choice. So whether that's Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, Podcast Addict, which is what I use, or any other of those services, we're on there. So hit subscribe. You get anytime we do a show. And if you like it and like what you hear or watch, hit like, hit follow, go review on your favorite podcatcher. And of course, if you go subscribe to the whole WTO network, you get everything we do, which we debuted a new MMA show, MMA for Marks, with Ethan from the Taught the Keiki, which is the anime show. Him and his pal Andy did a pretty good job on the first episode. So they have 2 out there now. You can go catch that. Of course, Taught the Keiki as well, doing everything anime. And of course, Marc and his band of merry folks on Radisson Broadcasting, doing the movie reviews, metal music, and all that good stuff. So, if you subscribe to the network, you get all that stuff, not just what we do here. So, moving on, I guess we might as well start with the big news of the day, Marc. PlayStation VR 2 finally get the release date and the price. The release date is February 22nd, 2023, so not too long into next year, but also smack dab in the time where there's going to be a lot of games coming out as well in that January-February window, which seems to be the big window now. After you don't really get a rest after the holidays, we're just going to smash everything there at the beginning of that winter season as well. And then the price, 549 smackaroos is what it's going to cost you. Of course, if you don't have a PlayStation 5 and you get a PlayStation 5 and this, we're looking close to over 1,000, 1050, and then you can get the bundle with Horizon Call of the Mountain, which would be up to $1,100, $600 as well. So, of course, the difference here being that when the PlayStation VR 1 came out, if you didn't get it at launch, they did not include controllers because most people had, well, not most, I would say some people had Move controllers. If you had the Move stuff, the Move wands, because those were the controllers if you didn't want to use a PSVR, your PlayStation controller at the time. And I did not include the camera. So the camera you had to buy separately. Of course, when you and I bought the PSVR 1, it was later as part of a Black Friday sale with Moss and Astrobot, and that did include the camera, I think, for $250. So, of course, that was, again, much later. So this is at launch, including everything the controller, the camera, the headphones, all that stuff. Do you think this price is fair, costing more than a PS5 itself? At least in even talking about some of the other regions where the PS5 price increased, or do you think it's right considering where the VR market is?
No, it's too much. I mean, you can get an Oculus Quest 2 for, that price or cheaper, and that's wireless.
Yeah, that is true. This is a tethered machine, even though it only has one cable compared to the various cables that the PSVR one had. This is still a tethered machine, and that is going to
That's what I mean.
yeah,
I talked to
yeah,
Jens about it, and that's what turned him off. Like he said, if it was wireless, that's a different story, but it's not.
yeah.
And I mean,
Uh,
he doesn't have the setup really to even do this in the first place, like room wise. So I don't fault him for that, but I don't think most people do.
yeah, I no longer have that. I did at one point. Now I do not. So,
Right. I mean,
um,
even like mine, like I have the Oculus Quest 1, that's wireless, but I can't really use it in my living room. Like if I was ever going to use it, I'd just use it outside, which is
right.
really goofy if you think about it. But that's the
So
only way
you
it's
don't have enough space in your living room, or you could make space, but
I mean, I could, but I might step on the cat, or I have like a coffee table, and
right, you
I
would
just
definitely have to move
yeah,
everything out of the way if you're going to use
right.
it.
So yeah, it costing more than the system itself is like hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously looking at this as a premium product. You can also buy a VR2 Sense controller charging station for $50 that allows you to charge the controllers and I think even your PS5. Yeah, the PS5 VR2 Sense controller without having to use the USBs on the system. So I guess if you really need to free up your USBs on the system, you can spend another $50 and buy that. So there'd be a total of $650 if you want to buy everything. I mean, obviously, look, there's some great specs in this thing. There's a refresh rate of up to 120. You get an OLED screen. The lenses can separate and are adjustable. It has a lot of the motion sensing. It has 4 cameras in it with the headset and control tracking. It is a USB Type C device. It has the built-in microphone. So, and then it has the special controllers that, again, PSVR 1 was using the freaking Move ones. If you wanted to use those, I mean, and you had to use them for some of the games like Beat Saber, for example. So, having their own controllers is definitely a plus. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
but all the stuff you just listed, you know what it doesn't have is a good launch lineup.
yeah. And to be fair, most of the launch games are also playable on other things.
I mean,
You know,
9 out of 11 is not. That's not a good batting average.
yeah. So the only things that are exclusive are the Call of the Mountain, right, and would it be the Village VR?
No, the Dark Picture Switchback and
Okay,
Crossfire
Switchback VR,
Sierra
right?
Squad.
Okay, so that's 3.
2, because I don't think Call of the Mountain is.
No, Call of the Mountain's exclusive. That's a Horizon.
Oh,
That's a PS. That's an
that's not
IP of
launched
theirs.
though.
That is launched. It's launching with the system.
Oh,
It's a bundle with the system, yeah. So, and it's supposedly a story mode that lasts about 7 hours.
that sounds
So,
awful.
um, it's not one of those like I think we were thinking it was going to be like the Batman game that you kind of just got to be in that world, but it wasn't really a game per se. I mean,
I don't
so
think VR
yeah.
is like great for like long games personally.
Well, and I mean, it's definitely not. It hasn't been proven that people want to see it's. If you're going to play what would be considered a long game, you would have to play that in a lot of different spurts.
Right.
So, it's not something that you're going to just be like, oh, let me sit in this for even 5 hours at a time. I mean, I think this is something that you play like every couple of hours.
Yeah. I mean, I
At the
think my like
most.
longest Oculus Quest 1 was like maybe like hour and a half.
Hour and a half? Okay.
And that's like the battery wasn't dead. I'm just tired of wearing the stupid helmet,
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you think would have been a fair price for this then?
I mean, at max, I would say 500. Like the cost of the console, but above it, even if it's only, it's a nominal amount. It's only $50, but still, like factor in taxes, that's probably at least another 50, at least in my state.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't even know how somebody didn't think like, oh, maybe we should stop at 500 and not charge more than what the system is.
I mean,
Hey,
know. It might have all the technology in the world, but if people can't afford it, that's a problem, or most people. And then also, most people don't care.
Yeah, I think that's the number one thing is maybe that's what made Sony say, okay, well, we can put it at that price because this is for the hardcore folks and the VR lovers. It's not for everybody. So
But
if you really want to experience it,
I mean, to me, this is like smacks of like Connect 2, because Connect 1 was a pretty big success in the grand scheme of things, but no one cared when Connect 2 was out, and even though it was packed with the console, no one cared.
I think it's different because Connect 2 had the bad rap of being forced on you.
But I don't think PSVR 1 like left a great taste in a lot of people's mouths. And hey, this thing might be great from a tech perspective, but it has like little to no actual games that you couldn't get anywhere else. And it's too much.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is that, like you're saying, it has good tech, but I think until you really see a game that makes you go, oh man, I want this. Right now, it's just kind of like, well, if you guys love tech and you want to spend the money for the tech, then go for it. But
I mean, I think like if someone's like, oh, I want to get like, a hardcore gamer or a VR enthusiast, they'd probably save the money, get that the new Meta Quest thing.
So, do you not need a good PC to play the?
No, it's still all self-contained.
Okay.
I mean
that's yeah.
It helps. Let's say that because you can. I mean, with that you can plug into Steam VR, and then that obviously helps. But even that's like you can. There are ways to get around that if you have a good enough computer, actually. But yeah, the Oculus Quest environment is good enough, or like the storefront and everything,
So, like, I've seen a lot of people comparing it to the Valve Index, right? Because you have to have a PC to run that.
Right.
Do you think that that's fair to say, okay, we should be comparing it to something like that instead of saying, oh, well, we're comparing it to the Oculus Quest 2, which is like, or an Oculus Quest that's contained?
I mean, I guess, but also the Valve Index, that's pretty old, or that's at least I think 2 or 3 years old now. And like when that thing launched, it was geared really exclusively as like the enthusiast market. Like I imagine Sony is going to try to much more appeal to like the mass market with this thing. And for that price, I just don't see it, especially with like how still limited PS5s are to buy.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely been seeing them a lot more.
I mean, I've seen them at used game stores. Like I was at a store a few days ago, and they actually had like 3 for sale, and I was really shocked. And like a guy was bringing in another one to sell, but I have yet to see one still like new for sale from like Walmart or GameStop or something, Best Buy or something.
Right.
So
I mean, I have seen them in Walmarts in pictures of
So
where
have
other
I. I've seen them
people
in
are.
pictures,
Yeah,
but it's like that's not
yeah,
my experience. Or I don't care where. Like, yes, I'm sure there's some Walmart in Alabama that has 50 of them, but that doesn't that doesn't impact me at all.
right. I mean, to be fair, we both already have PlayStation 5, so
But
part of the yeah.
I mean, it's not all the time, but I've seen plenty of Xboxes for sale.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially the Series S. You can walk
Yeah.
in and see that anywhere. I mean, it helps when that's also the least wanted system as
Well,
well.
I've seen both though. So I mean, I wasn't, yeah. But I just think like them launching this thing in 4 or 3 months is like crazy.
I mean, they did announce it a while ago now, so it's not like it's too unexpected. I mean, they
Sure, I mean it's been rumored for years, but I just mean like just the market penetration is just not like when they launched PSVR, like the PlayStation had been out for at least 3 years. This is like
right.
barely 2, and still incredibly hard to find.
Yeah, this is the thing that I think overall many people that love PSVR will point to. It does have some good games. It does have games that are worth playing. Will it get that support though? Because this is an expensive thing. I mean, and also even though it's playing with, it's playing well with the PC market in that, oh yeah, let's bring over stuff that's for the Oculus. Let's allow some of this stuff to be on Oculus as well. We're not sitting there and being like, oh, everything that you make for us has to be exclusive. They're kind of playing nice. And so that kind of allows for a broader lineup to come to the system quicker.
Yeah, but what they're not doing is allowing you to disconnect it to a computer.
Has that been confirmed that you can't connect to the computer? I mean,
I'm 100% sure. I mean, no, but they're not going to say that, or
right. Yeah, I mean, this is something that if I had the ability where I live, I would be kind of considering it
But I
at a
mean,
lower price. At a lower
why?
price. I'm
Because
not
like, why wouldn't you just get a Quest 2?
because I already have a PS5. I mean, I part of the
But
what I have. Yeah.
yes, you do. But like, graphical fidelity doesn't mean a ton in a VR game.
Well, I
And
agree with you. It's not about the graphical fidelity. It's about being able to maybe there's experiences that you'll only get on the PSVR that won't come to the other things because it's
but yes, but think about how many more experiences are in the Quest 2 that will never come to this thing or the VR 2.
right.
That I mean, it's also $200 cheaper.
No, okay. I'm saying when this thing eventually goes on a sale, I'm not buying that for $549. You crazy? I could buy a lot of other stuff for that money. So no, I think that's where a lot of people's kind of thought process is right now with this is in fact I did a poll on Twitter here before earlier today when this kind of had come out. It's like all over the board. I mean, it's only technically there's 15 hours left in this thing and I have 20 votes and it's sort of all over the place. You have a quarter of the people saying yes, and yes, I'm going to buy it at launch or try to buy it at launch. Yes, but I'm not buying it right now at the launch price. Or yes, I think the price is fair, but I'm not buying it right now. No, I don't think the price is fair, but I might buy it on a sale. And then the majority is no, I don't think the price is fair, and no, I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
So, and that seemed to be a large portion of when I saw polls like this and other people's Twitters and all that was a large majority seemed to be no, I don't think the price is right, and no, I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
I think this is a niche within a niche. I think we will see this price come down quickly, or they're going to start doing some kind of sale with a bundle to make it seem like it's cheaper. That Call of the Mountain bundle might come down itself.
Yeah, it'll only be $1,000.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, the thing is, when you already kind of shell shock people with the price increase of the system, and then you come out with this, I think it's like, well, I hope this means that, especially if you're going to do the ordering through, and this is something I haven't touched on yet, in most regions, you're only going to be able to order through PS Direct, through the PlayStation Online Store. You need to actually go register now if you want to get the launch edition of it. It's smart by Sony. Number one, I think a lot of retailers probably are not going to want to stock it with the price. And then number two, it prevents scammers, right? The best thing Sony's been able to do is do this like invite only thing. It doesn't mean that you don't get scammers still, but it has been their one combatant that they've been able to successfully improve with this, is to be able to use the PS Direct. So I'm sure that more will come out as time goes on. We might get more of an explanation as to why from Sony themselves on the price, but right now that's what it is. $549. What do you think? Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's right, or do you think it's too much? Let us know in the comments, or however you want to get in contact, just let us know. And keep voting on that poll. Still got a lot of time, even after if you're watching this on demand later. So, and that's on my Twitter at WTimSean. You can go find the poll and vote in it. So that being said, let's move on from the VR talk here. We're still staying on the PlayStation side of things, putting in a little bit of Xbox as well. Two things here. So Phil Spencer did a interview with the Wall Street Journal where he talked about the big elephant in the room that we've been talking about for seems like forever, where he says that they intend to continue to ship Call of Duty on PlayStation. As long as there's a PlayStation out there to ship to, we will be putting Call of Duty on it. I see it like Minecraft, where I want it to be on anything. And he even mentions trying to put it on the Switch. We are not taking Call of Duty from PlayStation. That's not our intent.
Put it in writing, and then we'll go from there.
Well, right now they don't have to do that because they need to make sure it's going to pass I think, in the CMA. So
I think, if his statement is true, good for him, or good for Call of Duty. But I don't think putting it on the Switch is a great plan.
Yeah, I would think that you definitely need to have a Switch 2 at that point to even think about running
for
it.
Like one game, and then the game moves past it, and then Nintendo's fucked again.
Yeah, you definitely, it's probably gonna be a cloud version if they're gonna do that.
Or they have the mobile versions of Call of Duty. Just put that on the Switch.
Yeah, they could do that as well. Yeah, you wouldn't get the full version of Call of Duty. You'll get it would be like FIFA, right? You'll get like a bastardized version of it.
Yeah,
it'd probably be more akin to the PS4, Xbox One version than it would be the actual version you'll get on the other.
Oh, I doubt that even.
Yeah.
But
we've seen that where Switch with some other games, they've gotten that version, and because that's what it can sort of handle, if at all. So, yeah, pushing on to that as well. He did mention that PC Game Pass, or this is in the financial report, PC Game Pass grew 159%, whereas the console version of Game Pass is actually seeing like a downtrend. Like Phil mentioned that it's kind of stagnating at this point on console.
He also mentioned, I didn't put this in the document, but like that it's been too long since Xbox has had like a breakout game, or like a big game.
Well, yeah, since Halo. They haven't really had anything.
Even that wasn't.
It was a breakout when it first came out.
Yeah,
and then they started having the problems with the multiplayer issues and all that. So,
but I mean, I think that's a part of Game Pass's stagnation. Is like,
right.
what is it? What does Xbox have this Christmas or this holiday? Like Grounded? Like
Yeah,
the
they
game that's
have
been out?
Pentiment, and that's it.
And
And that's a
hey,
small game.
yeah,
you
no
know.
offense to Pentiment, I mean, it might be fine. It might be great.
It's
but like,
Obsidian, so it might actually be
that's not
really
a
good.
system
Yeah.
seller at all. Like,
No, it's not. But I mean, it's not a big game. I don't think you're gonna get people subscribing to Game Pass because I
right.
want to play Pentiment. You're gonna get people that, oh hey, I'm already in Game Pass. I've heard about Pentiment. You might get like word of mouth with people that have already played it, and then they go tell their friends, hey, let's go. You might want to go play this. You subscribe to Game Pass for a month for that or something, but you're not going to get anybody that doesn't pay attention to gaming to go play Pentiment for that. So really next year, and that's what he was talking about, was okay, we really gotta, this 2023 lineup has to come out and it has to be a hit. Like, so Starfield's probably going to be in the fall. What do you got between then? What, Forza Motorsport 8? And then you got to have something else. I mean, look, the car enthusiasts, they've been able to get some great stuff with Horizon. Was it 5? And, whenever Forza Motorsport comes out, but you got to have something, I think, before Starfield, you got to have something else. So they really, we know Redfall is coming whenever that is, and that looks good. I mean, I like the latest trailer that they showed. So there's 3 big hits coming there, but I think also part of it is, remember, they've made these third-party deals. So, and we had a lot of third-party games that got delayed in 2023. If most of those games are hitting release dates, then I think you have a good chance of it being a better year for that. And not just Xbox, PlayStation Plus also saw some stagnation with their subscribers. 2 million subscribers lost for PlayStation Plus. They attributed it to people went outside.
Yeah, which is like hilarious.
So
I would attribute it to like at least the top level PS Plus sucks.
Yeah, I am definitely downgrading whenever that comes up in March or whatever, because premium has been an absolute joke.
Yeah.
For the most part. And I mean, also, to be fair, I'm not the use case for this because I've played most of those games, or I had a PS3 and played most of those games. So until they really start adding like the PS1 or PS2 games
that's the thing, is that they haven't, and like all the games that were already on there were just from like PS Now,
right,
back in the day. Like they haven't put any new games on there.
Yeah, and we got to remember that PS3 stuff's streaming only, so that also takes out some of the people that can play those games because not everybody can play things that are streaming.
Yeah.
So, that's a thing that's important, is people should think about that before you just, but this whole thing about, people went outside. So that's why, look,
I mean,
I'm
sure there's some truth to that, because
I do think that that's true.
Yeah.
There are people that when COVID was keeping us all locked inside, went and got subscriptions to a lot of this stuff. And now that they know that they're going to go back to their normal lives, there's no need for them to have a subscription to an online multiplayer thing that they're not going to use. And then maybe they've seen some of the games and go, I don't think I really need this.
Yeah.
And you unsubscribe. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that some games are coming to PC, as I've seen some people mention. That's ludicrous.
Well, also, it's not like, it seems like with every one of their PC releases, no one cares. Or, I mean, it's...
Well, no, people do care. God of War was big.
Yeah,
I think Uncharted suffered from the fact that, you don't have the first 3 games, so why am I going to start at Uncharted 4?
Well, it's Uncharted, and then also the Sackboy thing.
Yeah, Sackboy. I mean, I just don't think platformers are. That's not the big graphical showcase game that I want to have on my PC. That's more of a, let's be honest, it's more of a child's game. So it's a mascot game. Like, you're not, most kids are not using the PC. So
I also don't think like when it
yeah.
comes out, Returnal will be like huge.
Oh, I do think Returnal will do well. I think it'll do better than Uncharted and
I think it'll do better
Sackboy.
than Sackboy for sure, but
Yeah.
Uncharted is kind of where I would draw the line.
I just think if you had released all the games 1 to 4 together and put them on PC, you might have a bigger chunk of the pie there. But because you're releasing the last two and there is actually story correlation, there's people going, oh, well, I'm going to wait till eventually they put. I think the big test will be having Miles Morales come out 3 days after your big game of the year, God of War, Ragnarok, coming out. How well does that game do?
Yeah.
After we saw Spider-Man do pretty well, does Miles Morales do just as well when people have another game to play? Obviously, the PC folks don't, but still, it's something worth noting because you did already get the other Spider-Man game. Will there be enough appetite to play Miles Morales now as well? So that's an interesting one to look at, I think. But I think, to be fair, also PlayStation Plus suffers from. I think they do need to give you something that's worth it on launch day for something, even if it's something like Stray. Do more of these deals where you get at least a like big indie game that comes, because I feel like, look, there's something to be said for, you don't want to have day and date with your big games or whatever like Microsoft does, but to totally cheap out and not have anything, to me kind of seems like you're just setting the bar so low that you don't. This is kind of just an afterthought for you. And when they come out and go, oh, we lost 2 million subscribers, I don't know if they really care that much. Would they even care if they lost like 10 million, honestly? Because I don't really think that they have tried to honestly compete at all if they're trying to compete with Game Pass, because they really haven't done much as far as that goes. Speaking of PS, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, like, it'd be nice if they had better deals, like, on launch day. But I thought of you earlier today because I saw, like, PS Now had, or the PlayStation Store had their, like, November sale. And it's like, okay, a PS Plus version of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands for PS4 is $36, down from $60.
Yeah, that's not bad.
The physical version, which you can get from Amazon, is $20.
Damn.
And it's like, huh?
Really making me think there.
Yeah, it's like, which would I rather have?
Yeah, do I pay the $16 just to keep everything digital, or that's the thing. And at least you're if you're subscribed to PS Plus right now, you'll get to go download Neo 2.
The game that broke Jens.
Yeah, the game that broke Jens. I think Neo 1 had already been on PlayStation Plus before.
Yeah.
So if you got that through there, now you can go and get Neo 1. So that's a positive there. And you'll also get to get Heavenly Bodies, which I think is a more multiplayer focus. And then Lego Harry Potter, the whole collection there, which, those Lego games are fun. So, as has been showcased by Skywalker, the Skywalker Saga games that have continued to be one of the top sellers this year. So, there's something to be said for that. Anything of interest there for you?
I might give Neo 2 a shot if Jens actually wants to try. And, hey, it'd be great to play that Lego game with online multiplayer, but it doesn't have it. So,
that's...
None of those Lego games have it. I think, like, one of them did, like, the 360 one did, but that was it.
Is it really about, like, protecting the kids or whatever? Is that what they're...
They claim
Whole
that.
thing?
I think they're just
Yeah.
lazy.
Damn. That I just don't get this whole like let me protect the kids thing because kids are
Well,
gonna
hey,
find a way to play online
put in your,
regardless.
if that's really the case, and put in your birth, like have a system with like put in your birth date.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, kids alive, but who cares?
I mean, also if like the parents are letting them,
Yeah.
that's on them as well, right? I mean,
I mean,
if
you have a daughter, like,
right.
does she ever invite her friends over to play a game, or do you ever see that ever actually happening? Like, hell
If you
no.
can do it online, yeah, because she's in Discord all the time.
Well, that's what I mean.
So
Like
yeah.
online, yes, but I mean like inviting like a friend to the house and like playing a game together. Like
No,
no.
because it's getting more and more unless you let's be honest, folks. Like we've all become so digital that people have just gotten used to you hang out through a video screen. You hang out through a screen. Like
That's why this GoldenEye port is not going to go well.
well on Xbox, but
Yeah.
on Switch
No,
you can
on both
yeah.
it won't go well for different reasons.
Yeah. I mean, I think people are going to realize quickly that game does not hold up well, at least the multiplayer side. So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that we hopefully so the Skywalker one does not have multiplayer
Nope.
either.
I think it was like
Wow.
Lego Batman 1 had like online multiplayer, and that was it. Or maybe like the second one. It was like one of those, but that was it.
Yeah,
And
they
that
probably
was,
don't want to deal with like people that want to cheat and all that, and
but
you
can literally buy cheats in the game. Like who cares? It's
yeah,
that's the whole point of the game is to get like the find all the hidden bricks and
right,
become
exactly.
invincible and have like a huge like bolt multiplier and all this other crap. Like it's just it just seems incredibly lazy to me personally. Like
Yeah, it does suck for sure. It lessens some of the fun that could be had.
we're also thinking about like when parents have to go like just like Minecraft. Like when parents have to go out for work or something,
Yeah,
they could be playing the game with their kid.
right. That's true. And they can't do that because
Yeah.
That's moving on from that. Just before we get out of this whole thing talking about Xbox, because there is a rumor going around that part of the reason, which is hilarious because one of our final news topics on a couple of shows ago was us talking about the Square Enix Montreal getting renamed Onoma.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now Embracer Group has closed the studio.
Yep.
And they've been offered roles at Eidos Montreal. So they've now confirmed that about 200 jobs will be affected, which really sucks. That people have already lost their jobs that quickly after a acquisition has been made. To be fair, Microsoft also pretty much right after we did the show last week announced that they were doing some layoffs, which did affect some Xbox Studios folks as well. So layoffs are happening all over. But even then, the big rumor going around is that apparently whoever got put in from Onoma to Eidos Montreal and Eidos Montreal itself will be wind up helping Xbox on Fable.
Yeah.
So
that's not surprising.
Crystal Dynamics, if you don't remember or don't know, they're helping that studio with Perfect Dark. So now you'd have another former Square Enix Western studio helping with another Microsoft game in Fable. So that's two pretty big third-party studios. And that also is leading a lot of people to the rumor that Microsoft is just waiting for this acquisition to go through with Activision Blizzard King for them to announce that they have acquired Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal from Embracer.
I doubt that. I mean, they may want it, but I think Embracer sees value in having like Tomb Raider for sale, or having that franchise.
Yeah, could it possibly be that Microsoft just gets those studios without the IPs?
No, especially not Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah,
And Eidos Montreal is supposed to be making Deus Ex,
right.
and that's
Exactly.
not a flagship property or franchise, but it's done good work in the past.
No, it's still a pretty good property. It does pretty well.
Besides, Embracer doesn't lose companies; they embrace them. Embracer does buy Microsoft instead. Flip the script.
I doubt that would happen, but I mean,
or buy the Xbox division anyway.
it is interesting that like they just closed down this studio. They just gave a new name to and everything. Like it's just
it's a mobile centric studio.
Yeah.
That they don't Embracer doesn't really make mobile games. And also,
right. I mean, to be fair, they don't really make that many new games.
Well, I hate to say it, but like I lay the feet of this at lay the blame of this at the feet of like Saints Row.
Yeah, I mean, Saints Row continues to sell well, despite the terrible critical reviews.
But not as well as the other ones.
Yeah,
like I feel like Embracer really needs like a AAA launch or like a game, and they've yet to have that.
yeah.
And you got to wonder how long their financial runway is before they get like a few good hits under their belt.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna have to start getting hits.
So yeah, I look at this as like them kind of tightening their belt a little, or them kind of going like we need to close studios that aren't gonna do us a ton of good. Like they were like buying like esports, like not companies, but like apparel companies. Like that was like one of their acquisitions. Like, where the fuck are you buying this company?
Yeah, they bought Limited Run.
Well, I see that as like a very worthwhile purchase actually, because Limited Run sells a bunch of shit. But they bought like a sound company, and it's like, yeah, okay, I guess, but like what is this going to add to your bottom line? Like,
yeah, they're gonna have to start making a lot from that Lord of the Rings IP.
Yeah,
having that, So
we got to wonder if that Gollum game is under that deal or not.
It probably is now. They probably get something out of it, but I mean that Gollum game's not going to sell that well. I mean, I could definitely see them doing probably both. I don't like to like downplay games before they've come out or anything, but it has not looked good so far in what we've seen of it. I think mostly we're probably going to see them try to remake those older Lord of the Rings games. I don't know how much blessing they would have to have from EA or.
That's the problem is EA made them all, or they didn't make Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor. I mean that was WB.
Yeah, like does WB have to give them anything to have that, or is that part of what they bought as well? I mean,
or they may have to commission like Embrace or not. I mean, they may have to commission what's the name of that company? Damn it. Monolith, that was it. Should I make another one?
Yeah. I definitely see them like trying to remake that because that's their bread and butter, right? For the most part, is they like to remake stuff.
Right. So, but I mean, that game was great when it came out 8 years ago.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it would particularly hold up well now.
Yeah, I mean, it still has the Nemesis system, which we found out that Warner Brothers like patented that, or
no other game ever used it except
for So I mean, it does have that unique system going for it that maybe would help gain interest, but like you said, that sequel wasn't anywhere near as well received.
Right.
So
I should know. I reviewed it.
Yes, you did. I remember that.
So yeah, I think they're in kind of a tough position. I think they grew too big too fast, and they didn't have enough
Mhm.
good games under their
Yeah.
belt to support it.
They're in a ton of debt as well, so they got to do something to get some of that back.
Yeah,
Wha-
I thought it was
you
funny
know,
when they were putting out like, Darksiders 3, like limited editions, like the $400
yes.
limited edition.
Yep.
It's like, you guys are fucking crazy. Like, first of all, it's a very unknown quantity if this game's ever going to be good, and it wasn't. And then also, like, Darksiders is not good enough. I mean, maybe like a $150 one.
Right. But
And
not
they actually
like
did do that too. But like
right.
some $400, 2-foot long collector's edition. It's like, you guys are nuts. Like, no
Yeah,
one's.
no,
There's still one of
that's
those for sale
crazy.
at my local Best Buy.
Yep. I
And
want to see if somebody's ever gonna buy that.
well, it's like the PC version too. It's like, you guys should just like raffle this off, or give it away for free to clear up the shelf space. Like, come on.
Right.
Like, you even have to wonder if the code for that is still good or not.
Yeah. That would be funny if you buy that and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, this is expired now.
Yeah, code is invalid, expired like 2 years ago.
Be like, hey, you can't return this. So
Yeah,
you're stuck with the game that you can't play. By the
I
way.
just feel Embracer makes a lot of weird bets on stuff that like no rational person would.
Right. And then you've got them having to deal with the bad news from the Star Wars Knights of the Republic
Yeah,
delay. That
right.
too.
When they were like, "Oh, we're gonna put out in 8 months," and the developers were like, "What, we are?" Like, no, we're not.
Wait a minute. No, no, we're not. We don't have any really a lot of experience making this kind of a big game like that. So no.
And then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna put it out 3 years from now." It's like, yeah, it sounds more accurate.
Yeah. Even though Disney's pissed about it, but that's not good either.
Yeah.
So yeah. Moving. I mean, we were talking about Embracer kind of closing studios. Netflix keeps buying studios as well. They have made their 6th studio acquisition. They have purchased. Was it? Why did I not? Spry Fox.
Yep.
Which are most well known for making Cozy Grove. That's that sort of like farming, Animal Crossing type game. They've also made Road Not Taken and Alpha Bear as well, like smaller games. Look, it's cool for these small studios to get bought by Netflix if Netflix is going to be, actually doing right by them. I have seen the gaming section of Netflix when I go on Netflix get bigger and bigger, it feels like. So they're making games, but don't know. I'm still
Who
not sold on
cares?
the whole
Like,
Netflix making
yeah, like,
games thing.
I mean, Netflix should be devoted primarily to making TV shows, and they can barely even do that, or making movies. And
Yeah,
they renewed Sandman, and it's a great, but
yeah.
that was a little too long, also. But also, it's like, well, yeah, but you've also canceled like 9 other shows in the meantime.
Yeah, they really need to have like a big hit or something that brings people in
Yeah,
for that, because so far it's kind of like, okay, we dropped something on there, and then also it's like they don't really make announcements for when they're gonna drop
right.
games. It
Yeah.
just feels like, oh, it just appeared on the store, okay, and then nothing.
Well, it always seems like an afterthought.
Yeah,
Like, which
maybe
it's like,
once
why?
they do like their actual like original games and they're not putting out games that already exist,
Yeah,
perhaps. But still, it's just interesting that they go that route. I mean, you did mention Netflix and TV shows. Another one of the biggest things to come out of this at Netflix this week is Henry Cavill has stepped down from being Geralt in The Witcher, being replaced by Liam Hemsworth for season 4.
What a downgrade! Like,
Yeah, I mean,
I understand you can't get Chris Hemsworth. Like, I believe me.
oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
But you couldn't even get Luke Hemsworth. And it's like, wow. Like,
I mean, supposedly they apparently wanted Liam Hemsworth at first before Henry had signed up for the role. So
if that's serious, they're completely crazy. Because it's like, what the fuck has Liam Hemsworth done? Like, been like one of the love interests in the Hunger Games? Like, who cares?
I mean, you don't have to have, The Witcher could be your first like big hit as an actor. It doesn't necessarily mean that, you have to be like a known actor to make that work. But I think what makes Cavill like such a great Geralt is not only does he look the part as well, it's like he loves that series. He loves the books, the games.
That was kind of the rumor. Is
Right.
he got in like too many arguments with like the producers about the show, like it veering too off from like the source material. I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're passionate about something, you want to make sure it's true to the source material, and then he's having to fight them all the time about it, and they go, "No, we want to make our own spin on that," and he's like, "But that's not what the fans are gonna want."
Yeah,
So
I think the problem with like Luke Hemsworth in this role is he's too young. Because Henry Cavill is like 7 years older than him, and he looks older. Like, he looks more mature.
Right, and Geralt is older as well.
Yeah.
So
it's not to say like sorry, not Liam Hemsworth.
yeah.
Not to say he looks like a little kid, but he obviously looks younger.
Yeah, I mean, and then we're further along in the story as well, where Geralt would be older. It's not like, oh, it's the first season and you're kind of doing a lot of his backstory or whatever. Like, so it just sucks because a lot of people are tuning in. Like, The Witcher has mass appeal.
Yeah,
and now you're taking that away. And there's a lot of people that are not going to watch now because you took Mr. Cavill off.
Yeah, that's a lot of what I saw on Facebook when that happened.
Oh yeah, I saw it all over Twitter. Like, I'm not watching it now, and it's like a lot of people were saying, "Oh, you should have just canceled it and since season 3 was the last season." And like, why are we even continuing this if you're going to change the main character? Like, how many shows have really gone to change the main character and then keep doing well?
I mean, there have been a couple, but they
like obviously aside from like Doctor Who and
it's usually not the main character. It's usually like the mom, or
yeah, like the big supporting character or something like that, but not like the main character. Or it's something where okay, the main character has died or has been killed in the script, and then you move on to like, oh, people have now supported the second character, the sidekick character, whatever, and you're willing to accept that now, say Robin can be the lead instead of Batman. Like, it's not all of a sudden like, oh, wait a minute, we're telling this Batman story, and before we even get to like the climax, oh bam, Batman's gone. And it's so I guess we'll have to see if he plays a convincing Geralt, but it's really going to disappoint a lot of people. I wonder how many people are not going to know anything about this. They're going to tune into season 4 and go, what the hell happened here?
Yeah. They'll just explain it like, oh, some magic affected him and now he looks like this.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna be interesting how they even tell that story, if they even mention it. Or
do you remember an old, I mean, you're about my age, remember how Power Rangers had a bunch of like knockoffs when it came out?
Right.
One of them was a show called Big Bad Beetleborgs.
I watched that.
And there were like 3 kids in the main role, and they replaced one of them for season 2. and the explanation was like their magical genie, one of his spells went wrong, so now this like girl transformed into like another girl, and that was it.
Oh my god!
I mean, they replaced the main actors in Power Rangers too. Like half the team left.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But
But to be fair, like that was once they changed like out of the main series, right? They was now called Power Rangers something else. Okay.
No, that was like midway through season 2.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the one example, but it wasn't the same character, would be like Batwoman, because Ruby Rose left after season 1, but it's not like the new actress took over her character. Like,
yeah, but I mean, are people really? I don't hear anybody talking about Batwoman.
No, it got canceled, but it lasted 2 years. It did last 2 years, 2 years or 2 seasons after. So right, it's surprising, but
yeah, it sucks to hear, obviously, but
I mean,
if you're watching that, yeah,
it ain't out yet, but I know that is headed to replace the one of the main teenage sons on that Superman and Lois show.
Yeah,
because I think the actor like kind of went crazy and decided not to go back. So that'll be interesting how they kind of, if they acknowledge it, or if it is kind of sweep it under the rug and say, no, it's the same character,
Right. What will they wind up doing over there on Netflix? We shall see for sure. So I should have talked about this when we were talking about the other like kind of newsy stuff from the financials, but EA also announced that they were extending their partnership with Marvel to at least 3 more games. We do know that they're, of course, making that Iron Man game that we talked about, and there were supposed to be 3 new action adventure games. There was a rumor for a while about a Doctor Strange game, so I'm not sure if that's possibly one of them. We know that they're making that Black Panther game. I guess that would be one of them. So, I mean, what do you like? Let's say Black Panther is one of them. What would you want to see as the other? I guess is the third game.
I don't know. I mean, I think. Well, 2 things I'll point out. One is I think we joked about this last time, or no, I did, about like the only good tech in that Anthem game was the flying around. So
right, which they can use now for Iron Man. Yeah,
yeah. I think Marvel Comics, well, Avengers, I guess, because they're not going to do X-Men, have a lot more humanity than like a DC characters. Like it's impossible to do like a Superman game apparently because no one can crack it. So I think like most Marvel characters could slot into like an action game or that type of game, kind of no problem.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have a preference to have one of them?
Well, I know Aubrey Plaza just got cast in that new Agatha TV show, so I don't have to be about her character.
I mean, it'd be cool if we could have like another Hulk game, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or just hell, remake the old one.
Yeah, they could do that as well. We already have like that Captain America Black Panther game, so my favorite is out, I think, as far as having like his own solo game, even though he almost did have that one game that got canceled.
See, for me, I hate to say it, but it would actually be Iron Man, because he seems like the most like fun character to control, aside from like Spider-Man, but we already got those. So
exactly.
Like, I mean, I guess you could do like a Black Widow game, have it be like a more spy-focused game.
Yeah.
Or
Hawkeye game.
Yeah. But I don't think, I mean, Captain America or Thor would be fine, but I think it'd be kind of boring.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of like, I don't know. I mean, Black Panther at least has like the interesting story, and
well, it could swap between like action and he's basically Batman without,
right? Yeah, you could have some stealth moments and then
the
action sequences and everything. So there's that as well. Who knows when they're gonna reveal that third game? but I'm sure
gonna
we
be
will
a-
see it.
It's going to be a Howard the Duck game.
Why not? Right? We had some of the people involved in this were involved in the Guardians of the Galaxy game, so
Right.
why not? Let's make it happen. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, I guess, if you do that. And at least the CD Projekt, they might not be that happy about Henry Cavill stepping down from their lead series, but we're gonna get a remake of the first Witcher game. So that was the big third party studio one that supposedly yeah.
Technically this is like the second remake because they already remade the game a little in the first place.
Yeah, so I remember playing that game for the PC and oof.
Yeah.
Those controls, let me tell you. There is some cool things that they could definitely. It'd be cool. It'd be great to see this get rebuilt and get to play this series from the beginning again. So I'm totally down with them doing this. I mean, would you be interested in playing a remake of?
It really depends on like combat or how it plays. Because that first game was pretty gnarly. Even the second one. I mean, I played and finished that one, but it still had issues.
I mean, don't you like? You would think that they would make it more like Witcher 3, right?
Yeah, but that's not. I mean, I don't need it to be some 100-hour game either. Like, if it had the same story or the same scope as Witcher 1, they just looked better and played better, then sure. But if they're like, oh, now there's 800 more monsters for you to go kill, go have at it, I'd be like, no, thank you.
Yeah. Well, technically, they did like a enhanced edition. I think it was.
That's what I mean. That was like when they actually tried to fix it, and even that was still a little shaky.
Yeah, it was not the best.
Because that was originally just a PC only game, and they ported it to PC, and they ported it to the Xbox. But it's like, ooh man, like
what? So you can play the first game on the Xbox? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is on the
I thought
Xbox,
it was only the second game.
Nope.
Okay. But
yeah, it's like try playing that game. Like,
no, I remember trying to play that game on PC. It looked good still, for what it was, but man, those controls were something else. Like you had to click with the mouse to do moves, and then did you have to move with the mouse too, or?
I mean, it was built using the old. Sorry, it was built using the old Neverwinter Nights engine, and it's like that was a gnarly engine when it came out, and they're trying to bolt on this game. Like it's basically another type of game onto it. Like, good luck.
Yeah. Not gonna work there. But I mean, if they do make it more like Witcher 3, I think a lot of people will be excited and happy about that.
Yeah.
So that's
they can't get Henry Cavill to voice Carol though.
Probably maybe since it's the games, and he'll know a lot of that lore, maybe he would.
Yeah.
You never know. Maybe if they got some of that money laying around, right? You got like 6 freaking games in development right now for CD Projekt, so why not throw Henry Cavill some money to do that? Let's talk about some old retro stuff here. Once again, Sega's talking about another mini console. I remember we talked about this when the Mega Drive 2 was coming out, and they had talked about that the Saturn and Dreamcast parts were like going to be way too expensive. But what would be kind of the point of making a Mega Drive 3? Wouldn't you need to do something a little bit different? I mean, if you are going to make another kind of mini console.
I know the Mega Drive 2 one. I mean, Yen's got his. I know it's like super small. So it'd be funny if the Mega Drive 3 was like even smaller. Because the Mega Drive,
palm of your hand.
The Sega Genesis 3 model is like notoriously small. Like,
right,
it weighs nothing. Like if you have it plugged in incorrectly, like the cord can flip it over. It's set like light.
Wow.
So if this thing was like the size, had no weight to it, it was like the size of like, a credit card or something, or
goodness.
I mean, yeah, they don't have many consoles left to go through. They're not going to release a Master System,
I mean, the Master System is an option there, apparently.
No, it's not.
On this list, it is.
Well, what's the list? I mean,
so the list apparently that they do in this questionnaire is an SG-1000, SG-3000, the MK3 Master System / Master System, Saturn, Dreamcast, Game Gear, or a third Mega Drive Mini.
I mean, they did the Game Gear in Japan, and that was a disaster because it was like the size of a Game Boy Micro.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, the only two options are Saturn and Dreamcast. I would say Dreamcast because the Saturn's a shit show as far as emulation. I mean, it kind of works now, but you need a pretty good computer to run it on. And also the Saturn lineup, hey, it has like some games, I guess, but not like the Dreamcast.
Right. If they were going to do it at Dreamcast, would be awesome if they could.
I mean, the problem with the Dreamcast I would see is like tech specs would probably have to be higher, but also like storage.
Yep. I mean, it would definitely be an expensive console. Like,
yeah, I mean, I could realistically see like a Dreamcast one being like $150.
$150? Okay. I could see them probably having to charge like $200 for it.
I would say $200 only if it had all 4 functional controller ports.
Yeah, I mean they could do that. Just you'd have to buy the other controllers.
Yeah,
separate.
But let's say what are 10 games you'd want on Dreamcast one? I mean, it'd probably be Sonic Adventure.
Right, you would do the Sonic Adventure games, Power Stone,
Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur,
yeah. I would say Crazy Taxi, but it'd fuck up all the music, so not that. And probably not Jet Grind Radio for the same reason.
I mean, it would be awesome if you could get Jet Grind Radio, but
what else? Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
If they could get it, then sure. Yeah, Skies of Arcadia would be awesome if they could get it.
I don't think you could do Shenmue just because of the size.
I don't think they would because you have the remasters.
Yeah,
like that would be a total waste. If they're not gonna remake Code Veronica, then
yeah, what they could do is just take out the names and just put NFL 2K on there.
Right? Yeah.
And then people kids today could play it and go like, "Wow, this is so much better than Madden."
Right? Yeah. Like, why are you not playing this for?
I mean, I also say like Choo Choo Rocket.
Choo Choo Rocket would be cool.
And Space Channel 5.
Maybe. Yeah, Space Channel 5, I could definitely see them doing to this Sega property.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe like Grandia or something to Grandia 2.
Yeah. I also see like San Francisco Rush 2049.
Yeah, I gotta have a racing game in there. Or maybe Daytona. Yeah. Maybe Daytona.
That's a problem also because of the licensing.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but yes, you're right.
Echo the Dolphin.
Well, they love having Echo the Dolphin and all these things, so that would not surprise me at all. They did it. It's one of their most beloved franchises that, like, I want to know how many people say they played that.
Include a microphone and put Seaman on there. So good luck, fuckers.
Oh
Trying to
my
fight-
god! I remember when that was supposed to be like a highlight of the freaking Dreamcast. Is that
Yeah. They can't. They
damn-
made 2 of them. That's the
Yeah,
second one didn't come out in America for damn good reason. But it's like, wow, you made another one of these. Like,
yeah. But it's like why?
I don't know.
And
The Dreamcast
yeah.
had I think it had a short but very good
Yes,
lineup. The problem kind of is just the system power. Like it's it's not going to be emulated that well, or if it is, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what he was talking about. It's the parts to do that were going to be super expensive to the point where it would almost cost you what it would cost to get like
A Dreamcast. I mean, a
Yeah.
Dreamcast. You can get a Dreamcast now for like $100.
right. So you're gonna charge people what it would cost you to get a class. The classic Dreamcast would cost way more than would it get to get the actual Dreamcast. The way it was originally. So,
But I mean,
Yeah.
look at the Mega Drive too. Like you can get a Sega Genesis for $50.
yeah, but that includes all those games on it, though. Like,
The same, yeah, but same thing
Yeah.
with the Dreamcast. Mini. Like some of those Dreamcast games are expensive.
yes, very. So if you could get that in there to lessen the expense of some of those games, that'd be pretty cool as well if they could do that.
Yeah.
Well, there's also this lost 32-bit era FMV game that was found and released.
Yeah, I told Jens about this, and I was like, "This is like going to be catnip to you."
A long lost erotic thriller that was actually created by Sega, called Sacred Pools. It was supposed to come out in 1997, but they chose to cancel it when it came out with negative reception at E3 1996. Gaming Alexandria has now found actual shared downloadable prototypes, and it's there, I guess, for you to play on the PC or.
There were 4 versions: the Mac version, PC, Saturn, and PlayStation. And I, for damn sure, downloaded the PlayStation and Windows one.
So you played it?
No, I just downloaded it. I don't know how long it's going to be up, so I wanted to preserve.
Yeah, you're like,
get my own copy real quick.
you're like, let's.
I watched there's like a 5-minute or 7-minute video online, just
I see that.
and holy hell, it's crazy.
Yeah, this I don't want to put it on the.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like AO like that. I know what you're thinking. It's sexual, but it's really not. It's the most weird. Like the Earth gets destroyed, and you wake up in a spaceship or something. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, that's wow. Yeah, it's okay. I love the FMV though, the old FMV.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, but it's
cool, and hey, it's nice to be able to find old unreleased games.
Yeah, that is cool that you can find those even today.
I think I've told you about my development Xbox that has some unreleased game on it that no one's ever heard of before.
Yeah, you did tell us about that. That's true.
Okay, yeah.
And StarCraft Ghosts as well.
Well, I put that on there. I mean, people know about
Yeah.
that, but I showed this game off. It's called Hardpoint, or it's some Invasion Hostile Intent, I think is the name of it.
Yeah.
But there's no information on it whatsoever. And even a YouTube channel that has a fair amount of subscribers to it that talks about lost games. It's called Hard for Gamers.
Yeah.
Or Hard for Games, sorry, not Hard for Gamers. They're local to me. I know one of the guys who runs it. And I showed him this video and he's like, what the hell is this? He was baffled by it. So
oh damn.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You got
yeah, so there's a ton of unreleased stuff that's kind of floating around out there. A lot of it's gonna get destroyed because preservation isn't people that think
Yeah.
think it's junk or that don't even know what the hell it is. But sometimes stuff gets saved.
There's that. At least. Anything else you want to discuss here?
Not as far as news goes.
Well, what do you want to mention here? Go for it.
No, just stuff I've been playing. I got a little further in Mario and Rabbids. I don't think I'll finish it because it's long. But I did like it, and I reviewed it and I gave it a 9.
Oh, so you loved it then? That's good.
Yeah. I played a little of that Hot Wheels Unleashed game. That was a PS Plus game from like last month.
Yeah.
And
How is that?
It got good reviews, I think.
Yes,
And
it did.
I'm kind of baffled because I played it and I was like, this is okay, I guess, but it's just not that much fun. And I kept going like off the track. Like you take a jump and I take it like badly, and
Right.
you just go like flying off the track. And it's like, and then you like respawn. Like I was in first place and I respawned, and then I'm in like 9th, and I'm like, okay, that's not great.
I mean, I guess it's to give you that realism of when you would have control as a
Yeah.
human,
Also, it's it's full of loot boxes, which is like not great. And I got some
Right.
somehow I got some car that like blew everything else out of the water. Like some like legendary car. I don't know how I got it. They just kind of showed up in my inventory like once the map opened up. I mean, it was okay, but like it was like Trackmania, but like worse. Like it didn't have power.
Yeah.
I didn't have power ups, or it wasn't like Revolt or anything. So I was like, I'd rather just play Revolt.
So you're doing racing, but it's not like it's not like a kart kind of game or
No.
whatever. It's okay.
Yeah, there's no weapons. It's you have like a boost and that's it, and you refill that by like drifting, and that's really it. Unless like weapons are like later on, which I didn't get to, but there's no like red shell or missiles or anything.
But you gain like, so what's the point of, I guess, the game? I get
There's like a city that you kind of just race. Like they're like little pips on the map that you can like that are the different races. There's like a whole like weird garage system, which I didn't really get into because it didn't explain like why I should.
right.
I mean, I just kind of did it to like, I guess to unlock new cars, but like I got that one car that it was like 5 stars out of almost every, acceleration, boost, braking. So I'm like, why did I go to like this POS car that just unlocked in this blind box, and I just keep using this thing. I picked up 3 games that I'll mention real quick. I picked up a boxed copy of Eternal Darkness.
Okay, I love Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, it was a good deal. I got it for like $90, and it's complete, and it came with a memory card, which is pretty good. And I picked up a copy of Suikoden 1 and 2.
I thought you had Suikoden 2.
I did, but I sold it because the manual was like kind of fucked up.
Oh, okay.
The first 2 pages and the last 2 pages were bootleg or like reproduction.
Oof. That's
and one of the pages inside was like copied incorrectly. It went from like page 25 to 26 to 26 to 28.
Yeah.
It's like, where's 27?
Like, oh, we're missing it here.
Yeah.
They ripped it out.
So I picked up that, and my Suikoden 1 copy, it was I had a copy of Suikoden 1 also. That game came in a 2-disc game case for no reason, because it's only 1 disc.
Right.
God knows why they did that. But I guess some people like put it in a 1 game disc case like after the fact, and my copy was like that. And it's like, I'd rather just have like the real copy, real copy. Right. So yeah, I basically sold my copy and bought the other one.
Well, that's still not a bad price, so.
Yeah, Suikoden 1 was $80 and Suikoden 2 was $300.
Damn.
I didn't pay that.
Yeah, thankfully not.
I got some nice trade-ins for that, so I was very happy.
Well, yeah.
Next week I get God of War.
Yep, me as well. I already got it pre-ordered, so both of us will definitely be talking about that. Not on the next show because that will be on Monday going into Tuesday, so it'll be the day before God of War comes out. But
the reviews are hitting for that tomorrow, though.
yeah, so we'll definitely get to talk about, I guess, like what the review scene is like for that. I haven't been playing really anything because I've had to be helping my girlfriend move, so just having to do a lot of that.
You've been playing boxing in the sequel unboxing.
Yeah, exactly. I played a little bit of that, probably about an hour of that Resident Evil DLC. Actually, now that I remember, so it's in third person. So if you're not a big fan of the wanting to play the game in third person, you wanted to keep it in the FPS mode, you're out of luck there. I've only gone, apparently that you visit 3 of the 4 locales again.
Okay.
I've only gotten through the part with the castle.
Yeah.
It was cool getting to go through there again. The main character, the main villains that you fight are the mold looking things from Resident Evil 7.
Oh, okay.
So, and they're really spongy. So there's that. I got to the part where you first start getting to use her powers, where she like freezes them, which is kind of cool. And apparently the merchant plays a bigger role in this one if you can't tell from the trailers. So there's that as well. So I'll probably get to finish that this week and then get on, keep playing first God of War and first Plague Tale, see how far I can get before that God of War Ragnarok comes out. And we'll both be playing it for sure. Speaking of games that are going to be coming out before next time we do the show, one that I'm been sort of excited about, Harvestella, comes out the next day after this comes out. So definitely you should go check out some Harvestella. I really like the demo. I'll probably get that at some point before the year ends just because I did enjoy it that much. Ghost Song comes out on Game Pass today. So that's a 2-day sci-fi like Metroidvania. So you that like Metroidvanias, Mark, maybe one to look out for sure. And you have the the 2 Mario parties are out on Switch. Mario Party 1 and 2, so if you wanted to play that. And then Iron Man VR comes out on the Oculus. So if you haven't played Iron Man VR, you can.
Oh, I guess that Shatter Remastered came out.
Yes, that as well. That came out, and then the other stuff will be out by the time we do the show next week. Or not by the time we get. So when we do the next show, they'll be coming out that week. The Football Manager 2023, Sifu, Sonic Frontiers, Ark, Dinosaur Discovery coming to the Switch, and God of War Ragnarok, of course. Yeah, and then Among Us is even hitting VR. So if it hadn't been on everything else, it's apparently going to go to VR as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some good things coming out pretty quickly here. So, especially if you're interested in both Sonic and God of War, I guess get ready for that wallet. It's going to get cash strapped pretty quick there. You looking forward to Sonic at all? Now that you've seen,
it'd be nice, but I got a feeling. I think the open world stuff is going to be more or less okay, but I got a bad feeling about those like cyberspace stages.
Also, knowing your luck, if a code comes in, it'll be for Xbox.
Yeah, that exactly.
That's always You're
I don't
luck,
think
I feel like.
401 gets like any like Sony codes.
I think, yeah, it's Xbox is so much easier to. Also, you don't have to worry about regions for Xbox, so I think that might be another reason why it's so much easier to
Yeah.
do as well. So that being said, I think unless you have anything else you want to mention.
Nope.
All right, so that'll be it for the show this week. Remember, if you like what you heard or watched, you can subscribe wherever it is that you are watching or listening to us, whether it's on YouTube, WTM Network, on Twitch, WTM Network as well. We have an Instagram, WTM Network as well, so you can check us out on there. We have all the different socials, and of course, you can go listen to us on podcast form. To go rate, review, and subscribe. That helps us a lot. Let more people be able to check us out. And of course, make sure you keep checking out 411, Last Word on Gaming, W2Net, and everything else that we do. Let's go subscribe to the whole W2 number to get, those Rallis folks, talk to Kiki, MMA for Marks, everything else. And we'll see you here next week. Later, everybody.